One, two, there we go. There we go. Computers, man. Computers. Well, I believe we're back in the game. That's you got. Aye, 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 right. Honestly, computers. Am I right? Computers. I don't think red shirts are illegal in China. Aye, but talking about Winnie the Pooh is illegal in China. Well, we try going back onto TikTok. Right, don't talk about Winnie the Pooh. Right. I think I was streaming all that time talking about all that stuff. I think, know how I was just talking about all that stuff? I think that was all actually still streaming to TikTok when I was talking about all that stuff. I'm fucked, man. Ah, well. So I've just ended the TikTok stream. That's it, just ended. I'm going to get shot, man. Yeah, this is quite Moorish. I'm going to get shot, man. Right, let's get back on it. I'm not a vapor. I'm just smoking a vape. Because I'm stressed out in my box. But please don't judge me for vaping. It's not a good thing. Right, let's try again, shall we, here? Right, don't talk about it. You behave yourself, right? And we're now live on TikTok. Hi, everybody. And we're just talking about nice stuff here, like things for you to buy and things like that. Welcome to here. Not doing any drugs or anything like that. Sorted. Great Cop says, poor 1030, it's a wee shame. It is a wee shame. It's a wee shame to be me. It's a wee shame. Beneath the headphones, like, aye, so you were saying about Tib? No, I wasn't saying anything about Tib. TI? Is that a gambling platform? I don't know. I better know. I'm skirting. They're not going to do anything. Anyway, cancelled again. I know. State of me. Here, I'm a wee bit lightheaded. Don't know what's going on with me. Maybe it's just had some eggies, just had a coffee. Do you know what's been happening to me physiologically recently? Anytime I eat pasta, I need to go for a big sleep. And I think that's maybe just because it's carbs or something. But I'm now worried. I'm like that. Like I need to go for a sleep. Like I feel like I've been poisoned or something. So I'm trying to reduce pasta. Before I came on, I had eggs and bread. I had some toast and eggs before I came on. And that was like big, thick toast. And now I'm sitting here just like this. So I wonder if I've got like a carb insulin thing happening or something like that. So I maybe need to go and get investigated. I should ask the vet when I was in. I was like, here, give some of that. Do you want to take my temperature as well? Like, check this out. But there you go. I must say, it was a bit wild how quickly the vet gave us an appointment in comparison with trying to get a doctor's appointment. The full vet experience was far better. Although I've still to file my insurance claim. So it cost me 400 and odd quid yesterday. Luckily I had that in my bank account. So I had to pay that there and then that's just for the tests. So then depending on the result, who knows, man. So as far as I'm aware, I am insured. I looked it all up and I renewed my insurance in December. So I've went on, I need to print off a form because of how long ago I signed up with the insurers. I can't do it online. So I need to print off a form, fill it in with black pen, take that to the vet, get the vet to fill in some stuff. But then I don't know how many claims I can make in a year. I don't know if I claim for this 400 quid, if then maybe I can't claim later on if he does need treatment or something like that. I don't know much about it, man. And they're asking for his barcode number and stuff, and I don't know what that is. So I hope it's all on my email, but I need to do all the admin side of it as well. But it turns out I've got 6 months to do all the admin side of the stuff. But it is what it is. beneath headphones, don't try and trap me. We try to talk about all of those characters. I can't do that. I can't afford to be cancelled off of TikTok. Can't afford it, man. Anyway, carb coma is great. Fucking love me a carb coma. Well, I'm getting them all the time, even with just a wee bit of stuff. Do you get enough sleep? I always feel like I'm not getting enough sleep, but I'm going to bed early. Not as a conscious choice, just because I'm wrecked, man. See, as soon as it gets to like 8 o'clock at night or something, I'm like, oh. So that's why I've not been doing nighttime streams as well. So I think I've just been getting old. Maybe gluten could be Stuarty, who knows, man. Maybe I'm just tired though as well. Maybe it's just not really anything. Spogger says vets are easy compared to the doctors. I could book my vet appointment on their website. None of that 8:30 in the morning, no getting through pish. Ah, it's brutal. I mean, obviously vets are for profit, right? It's entirely privatised. Coffee is cringe. Coffee is good, Gonzo. You've just reminded me, got paid today? Oh, aye. Nice one, Lewis. It's not Pet Plan Zabalbus, but it's one that sounds very similar. I will DM you who I'm with. If you want to know, but I don't want to say it publicly because there are bad faith actors watching that in the past have tried to get into different accounts that I've spoke about. Most of you are sound, couple of you are nutters though, so I don't want to dox anything because if they mess with this particular project, that's evil bastard stuff. Asking for his bark code. Nice one, Base Embrace. But aye, it is what it is. Vets have got people at their most vulnerable. I'm sure there's some great ones, but we've been to some bad ones. I think like every doctor and stuff like that, it's finding, or any therapist, it's finding the one that works for you. So Balba says, bloody hell. Rust, innit? Rust. Here, we'll get a wee Rust server on the go, man. It's been ages since I've felt anything. Mr. Mediocrity, how you doing? Welcome in, Mr. Fucking... No, not that one. Mr. Mediocrity, I got you up in time. Oh, yeah. Mr. Mediocrity, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in, how you doing? You get a bubble blast. You get your profile picture here if you sub, if you have one. And you get your username up here. Mr. Mediocrity, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. What's even happening? I appreciate that, thank you. Deary me, sorry, that's all my pure downer news. Everybody got a wee bit of downer news. That's pish. But that's me done with it all now. It's generally never gluten unless you have celiac disease. I don't think I do have celiac disease. I remember there was a big trend a couple of years ago where everybody thought they were gluten intolerant. And it turns out not a lot of people were gluten intolerant, but lots of people wanted to be or something because of social media. And it was great for people that genuinely did have celiac disease because it was like trendy and popular. It meant that celiac sufferers now had a lot more variety in like breads and stuff that they could buy. But then everybody who realised that they weren't actually gluten intolerant just stopped talking about it. But for a wee while, that was like a popular thing for people to think that they had. It does exist, but just not at the level that everybody thought it was. The one advantage of bringing in an American-style private healthcare would be waiting times dropping like a stone. A disadvantage, Blaketown, of an American healthcare system is lots of people dropping like a stone because they would be exempt from any sort of treatment, though. So I'd rather wait a wee bit. So here's the deal. In the UK, right, there isn't a shortage of doctors. The doctors are there, but there is a shortage of money that the government is willing to spend on doctors. We've got more doctors out of work than in work just now, and we've got tons of talent in the country for people that want to be doctors, but the positions, the GP positions, just aren't getting funded. So that is an intentional decision. The reason why it's all messed up just now is a choice by the government rather than just a bad situation we're in. Once again, here in Scotland, we had a chance. I know the NHS is devolved in Scotland, it's a wee bit different, but it's still connected. We had a chance to vote for Scottish independence, didn't we? And we didn't take it because of some reasons. Anyway, I'm going on a downer again. I'm going reverse for that cul-de-sac, and I will try and turn this around. I'm going to blame my carbohydrate fog. What's your mother's maiden name and first pet's? I can tell you my first pet's name because I've never used it as any sort of security device. My surname is Houston, right? And so my first dog, I called her Bella. Bella Houston. Bella Houston is a location near Glasgow. It's not a location that I've been to really often, but it's a place. There's a place called Bella Houston. So my first dog, I named her after a pun. She was called Bella. And she was a good dog as well, man. But anyway. Oh, Tide says, sorry, I mean vaping can make you a bit lightheaded. Aye. Aye, Tide. Do you know it's probably that. It is probably that. Anyway. Going to the vets is what I imagine going to the doctor in the US is like, maybe. If I won the lottery, I'd hire you all to play Rust full time. You Rust, that would be a class. I'm in. You could probably afford me just now. I'm no that expensive. You don't know lottery win. It's the same thing as happened with the Atkins diet. A bunch of people cut out carbs accidentally and found out they were eating too much carbs. There you go. 60k plus deaths a year in the States due to denied treatments. It's all fucked, isn't it? Here, how can we turn this around, right? Because I think everybody's in a pisser mood because we're thinking about dogs that are unwell and the terrible state of the UK healthcare system. Intolerances and allergies are different. You can be gluten intolerant without being celiac or gluten allergic. I see. Interesting. Huge number of qualified GPs can't get a job. It's mad. It is mad. It's weird. We're in a weird time. Anyway, they found all the money to fund the Online Safety Act, didn't they? Because that couldn't have been cheap. They found all the money to build all of the infrastructure that requires that, didn't they? But then, don't know. Anyway, I'm on a downer again. Deary me. Liberalism somehow convinced the US and the UK that any and all public spending was a bad idea, like the cost of providing essential services for citizens was seen as a personal failure rather than the government's actual job. I mean, the NHS, if you were to ask the average punter on the street in the UK what they think about the NHS, they will say that it's an institution that deserves to be protected and that it's wonderful. And a lot of people really value that as like one of the best things that we've ever done. But politics-wise, they are just trying to turn it into something that can make profit. There's certain stuff that shouldn't be run for profit, and that's one of them, you know. Anyway, I'm just moaning about stuff. I want to do something different, but because I'm putting myself in a bad mood and it's getting a wee bit trippy. I know personally as an American, I have health insurance, and sure, waiting times are low, but when I'm not flush financially, most of my life, I would not get seen for fear of all the expenses it would generate if they found something wrong. Aye. It's mad. It is just a way of killing poor people, innit? Or people who don't have the faculties to take care of themselves. And those are the people who most deserve health treatment, you know? Being ill is a big deal and it can affect your ability to do everything. So if you need to then navigate like pure bureaucratic systems in order to stay alive, Jesus Christ, man. Sharon, I love dogs as well. Dogs are brilliant. I like dogs more than I like people, you know? Anyway. I'm an American and do practically anything to avoid seeking medical attention. Yep. Imagine like breaking your leg and being scared to phone an ambulance. Or whatever, you know? Downer. So, let that be a warning. In the UK, we can't put up with that. But it's now, I think, probably illegal to protest it or something. They burden the cost of the Online Safety Act on the companies it applies to. Brilliant. why aren't there any companies speaking out about it? Because, like, I've noticed Spotify now, right? In order to listen to certain songs on Spotify, you need to scan your face and give your face to a government database. For Spotify, there isn't any porn on Spotify. So that means that the excuse that they gave about stopping children watching porn, that's bogus bullshit. Like, obviously, if we didn't know it before, it very clearly is now. Why is Spotify at the mercy of the Online Safety Act that's to stop pornography from getting into the eyeballs of children? Suspicious, man. Also, for these companies as well, like Spotify, if they're now going to make it impossible for you to watch without signing up to some bogus thing, then surely these companies will be losing money. And surely the government tend to side on the side of companies rather than people, because it's like pure business, make profit, all that sort of stuff. So I haven't saw any companies come out and just be like, this is bogus. So they must then be able to sell the data or something like that. There'll be a financial incentive for them, maybe. I don't know, man. But it's all just... Lush Nest says on YouTube, I need a GPU, please send me. No. No. I need a GPU, send me a GPU, Lush Nest. Fuck, do you think, does this look like a guy that's got spare GPUs? Hey bro, send me a GPU. No. Hello Hammy, welcome in, how you doing? I love how there's a state of Bevan in Cardiff Town Centre and they keep it clean and woe betide anyone caught fucking with it. Really? I haven't been to Cardiff. I haven't been to Wales at all in my entire life. I think it's the only UK country that I haven't been to. Tobacco company were found to be using premature death from smoking as a selling point for their products because it would lower the state pension burden in some countries. Christ. Mental, isn't it? Everyone's just mental. What a horrible time we're in. You want something nice? Aye, Yoda and Coke. Yoda and Coke's got something nice, right? You want something nice? Scientists developed a vaccine that can prevent HIV infection of half a year. That's amazing. That's dynamite. It's amazing how, see with like drugs like PrEP and stuff like that, how just not a threat AIDS has become among people who can afford the treatment of it. That is class. And HIV really as well is still an issue, but very, very treatable and not the death sentence that it once was. I believe the Spotify thing only applies to music videos that are 18 plus. Songs are all available without verification. I see. I may be slightly wrong about that then. But even music videos that are 18 plus, like Wayne's, like, don't make me sign up for a... Do you know what I mean? This is going to have a negative impact on creativity and art, right? So there is also itch.io. We've got some high quality game devs in chat, right? So you probably know more about this. Itch.io and Steam have started censoring, and I think it's because of the payment providers don't want to encourage games that have got depictions of blood and stuff like that. What? So there's games like Mouth Washing, which I've never played, have been taken off of itch.io, and it's very, very strange that all of this is happening at the same time as the mad Online Safety Act, and then other places like Australia at the same time are like, aye, we're implementing this as well. Like, as if they've been chatting about this for years and have decided to just implement it all at the same time. Australia hasn't saw the UK doing it and has decided, oh, we should do that too, because it would take years to build the infrastructure and all of that for it to happen. So all of this has been like arranged behind the scenes, perhaps at G8 or whatever it's called. And so it's like unanimously try to be implemented. So they're going to go after VPNs as well, or they're going to try and go after VPNs. But I highly recommend anytime you're asked to show your face at one of these things, try and just not do it. Because even if you show a fake face that tricks the system, they will still have it logged that, oh, one other person has submitted their face to our database, so therefore the system must be working. But I refuse. I'm going to deny for as long as I possibly can. I don't want to be a part of it at all, even via tricking it, which might be a crime. Why should I age verify at all? My email address is 20 years old. That should be enough without potentially compromising my identity documents. Completely agree, man. Grifting gonk politicians are saying that you're a nonce if you argue against it. Aye. Anytime something's put into a position and designed to be really difficult to argue against, then you're in trouble, man. They're at it. It provides regulatory capture. It makes it harder for new competitors to start up, meaning over time it significantly benefits the current big players. Interesting. I do look like somebody that's got a box of GPUs. You see, to be honest, I do have a box of GPUs. I do have a box of GPUs. But you're not getting one if anybody asks for one. You're just not getting one. But I've got a box of GPUs. Old ones, pish ones, but I do actually have a box of GPUs. So fair enough. Anyway. A Japanese researcher are currently conducting trials on a drug to regrow teeth. I saw that. That's interesting, isn't it? Imagine, though, the drug worked too well. And then all of a sudden you've got like teeth coming out your eyeballs and all that. Oh, no! So I'm going to wait 10 years, 20 years of other people trying this drug. Because that's how, like, Akira starts and stuff, innit? Big teeth monsters the size of houses. Lush Nest, I know it's funny that you're begging on my stream for a GPU, but stop it, right? Thanks. Because I don't know how to ban folk on YouTube. Have you seen YouTube are going to be using AI to limit accounts to think kids are lying about their age? Aye, but in a more sort of behind the scenes way. So it'll look at stuff that you're watching to determine if you're a child. I've noticed that autism subreddit is a wee bit pissed off at this because they're worried that their accounts will be incorrectly flagged as children accounts because autistic people, according to the subreddit, and I'm receptive to that as well, tend to watch things, cartoons or content that's otherwise aimed towards children, so they're a wee bit worried. I'm the sort of autistic that's kind of the opposite. So I don't watch stuff that's geared towards children. I don't watch My Little Pony or anything like that just now. But when I was younger, if I was using YouTube, they might thought I was an adult because of the stuff I was watching. You know what I mean? Pure documentaries about the manufacture of boring stuff. What are canals? Shit like that. Waterways and, model miniature building stuff and all that sort of stuff. So, who knows, man? Who knows? Mouthwashing is a wild game. I've not played it. It's never about porn. Aye. As far as I know, the infection is staying in communities that are hard to reach anyway, like being geographically. Oh, right, aye. So, I'm saying it's a solved problem in communities that have got treatment for it. They're restricting games that involves women or kids and hardship. Some video games that I've saw in the past, right? Like, there's a list of games that are banned from Twitch because they are, like, bad games, man. Simulating certain acts and stuff like that you're just like, this isn't good for the world, right? And maybe should actually be banned. However, they are, they're now, like, there's things like Red Dead Redemption 2 that under these new rules would be banned because that involves certain themes, albeit addressed tastefully because it's a story-based game. I've noticed on Twitter and stuff as well, there seems to be a group of young people that get very annoyed when the antagonist in cinema or in television is a bad guy. So anytime the bad guy in a film or TV does a bad thing relating to different themes, they're like, this is terrible, this shouldn't be. And you're like, like, it's the bad guy though. The bad guy should do bad things in a film. Don't glamorize it, you know? Don't like, there's ways of doing stuff. But if a bad guy in a film does a bad thing, then the good guy comes along and deals with the bad guy. That's the plot of a lot of stuff. There's also some, and it's weird because it tends to be young folk that would align themselves to the left are now in favour of censorship and stuff. And that's the opposite of what the left used to be like when I was a child. And that's a wee bit concerning. You know what I mean? Some art is designed to make you feel uncomfortable. Art is about sharing, you know, all sorts of sides of the human condition. And sometimes dark topics come up. Everything can't be like the superhero films that you watch, where nothing really happens and everything's fine at the end of the day. Some things that are meaningful to people. The Shining, right? You can't have The Shining without abuse, because that's a big part of the story. You can't have that. It's about alcoholism, and it's about child abuse, and it's about abusing your spouse as well. That's what The Shining is about. And they're using those themes of real world horror in a horror film context, right? Or a horror book context. The film's much better. And under these new laws, like The Shining would be banned because we can't have Jack Torrance being mean to Wendy or Danny. It's like, what? What is happening, man? What is happening? Nobody watched The Shining and thought, oh, well, if Jack can do it, I'm going to do it. Right, let's get down to biz. No, it's very, very clearly portrayed in a negative light, isn't it? I don't know, man. Hello, Mike C. Talking about loads of different things today. My brain isn't quite great today. You could probably tell from that sentence there. So I'm just stumbling through this stream today, everybody. If this is the first stream that you've saw, I assure you, usually I'm a wee bit better at streaming, but I'm not doing brilliant today. So I'm sort of stumbling through it and bouncing off of different things and trying not to get all my jimmies rustled. I will not comply with age verification, even if it's tricking it via Death Stranding or whatever. It's funny to see people using that stuff, but I'm not going to comply with the age verification stuff. Anyway. Hello, David Horlol. How you doing? Welcome in. I'll risk being a tooth monster just to get the data for you. Thank you, Spoggers. Let me know how it goes. Candlelight says I have a GeForce 4 that you can have. There you go. Lushnest is still on YouTube asking for a graphics card. Lushnest, you need to go over to Twitch and speak to Electric Candlelight, right? And they'll give you a GeForce 4, alright? Don't do that. Candlelight isn't going to do that. Candlelight, don't do that. I wouldn't mind a GTX 1030, which I should be able to buy for like £15 nowadays. Because that one of them existed, and I think it would be fun just to have one on display somewhere. Like a vanity, like the 1030 edition. You know, you get the big streamers get their own editions of like certain computer hardware. The Elgato Stream Deck Ninja edition. I don't know if that's happened. So I can pretend to people that I've got my own graphics card. I won't do it. I've got enough stuff. My email address is now over 25 years old. I've been on Twitter since 2006. And I've been on the internet for much longer than that. Don't know. Have you seen the new Google AI search that we've been talking about for a while? It really looks on the surface like the demise of traditional websites. Everything's fucked. The internet used to be brilliant. They've ruined it, man. They have absolutely ruined it. Hammy says, here's a pop quiz for everyone. Who knows, without looking it up and not including single letters as they were grabbed pre-market, what was the first domain name ever registered? The first domain name ever registered. Now, this wouldn't have been Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee, aye, no, it would have maybe been round about that. Tim Berners-Lee didn't create the internet, but he created the web, didn't he? So the web is to do with domain names and stuff. We're not talking about IP addresses. So what would the very first one be? Something like internet.com. Something like that, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to get to the bottom of the chat and you'll have probably figured it out. Is Streets of Rage now problematic where the enemies grab Blaze? Is that worth restriction? Chameleon, it's almost as if they haven't thought about it, isn't it? It's almost as if they're trying to make sweeping decisions without really understanding any of the implications, any of the technical implications, any of the sociological implications, or any of the practical implications. They're trying to just make sweeping things and see what sticks and see how much they can get away with. David Hoare says, is there any particular reason why censorship has made a sudden return? Kind of seems out of the blue. It does seem out of the blue, and here's what I think has happened, right? This might be conspiratorial pish, but it might be the truth. Palestine, for the first time, or well, not for the first time, but for a big use case, the public can see what's actually happening. And they see that what's happening is different from what we're being told and what the official narrative is for certain events, and they're quite rightly pissed off about it. So that's the most recent thing that everybody on the internet's like, wait a fucking minute, what is this? This is ridiculous. We're able to coordinate and compare news, real news. However, after, I believe, Occupy Wall Street, was when I first noticed people talking about censorship. And there have been things like the MP sexual abuse scandal, which has just quietened down. Do you remember everybody was raging about that, Cyril Smith and stuff? And everybody stopped talking about it. Not because we got to any sort of resolution, we've just stopped talking about it. So Occupy Wall Street, the Me Too movement as well, there have been, and now the most recently, people talking about the actual truth about what's happening in different geopolitical events. That's dangerous to different people in power, because the people in power want you to think that this is the turn of events. But if we can visually see that that's not what's happening, that can be a destabilising force. And that can be a matter of national security, can't it? If you're a baddie in power. So some people are speculating that is why, is because for the first time we, the masses, have got power in a collective conversation. But if they can clamp down that collective conversation, I mean, this might be conspiratorial. This might be me just trying to make sense out of a lot of people trying to profit. So AI just came in and they're all like, right, well, what can we use AI for? I need to make cash. We could use it to like spy on folk. Aye, cool. Right, I'm buying it. Spy on them. We could use it to verify age stuff. How much money will I make? Lots of money. Right, aye, verify every children looking at stuff. Right. Could be something as simple as that, but we just don't know, man. It's mental. Punch and Judy, aye, banned. I'm going to guess it's about getting data and maybe pressure from companies over the rise of content getting pirated. Could be. Amazon Fire Sticks, I think, will be targeted quite soon if they aren't already. A lot of people were up in arms about Jojo Rabbit. What a film, man. Jesus Christ. Online justice warriors have somehow become a sad parody these days. It's weird. If they go after VPNs, they will kill off pirating becoming popular again. No bloody wonder pirating's popular again. Listen, see the quality of YouTube chat? Like, buck up, guys. I'm used to Twitch chat. Twitch chat are filled with excellent people who are cool, man. YouTube chat, cringe, man. The state of use. Could we get a wee bit of better conversation on YouTube, thanks? TikTok, haven't said a peep. Can't really complain about you. But quality of conversation on YouTube, you should be embarrassed. Pure cunts begging and asking me to say words and stuff like that. Not a good community vibe there, thanks. I think Marantz made an amp model 1030, also one of the timeless silver-fronted ones with discrete power components. Amazing. I saw a cool overhead projector once that had 1030 written on it. It was like pure 60s or 70s and I wanted it, but it was really large, so I didn't get it. What happens if I go onto eBay and I type 1030? So there's an HP EliteBook 1030 touchscreen, but it doesn't look very good. A Gigabyte GeForce GT 1030 graphics card. Here it is, a Marantz Model 1030 faceplate. Is my postcode here? It is trying to dox my postcode, so I can't really show you this. Postcode now covered. Here you go. Model 1030. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I don't have any need for an amp though, so what if I type in vintage 1030? 1030 vintage, and then sort by price, highest price, so that it's like good stuff, because I'm getting like screws and things like that. There's a Rolex 1030. Well, the bracelet is called 1030. Rolex vintage 1030 caliber. Hold on. Does this say 1030 anywhere on it? Not that I'm getting a Rolex, but you know what I mean. So this is a Rolex 1030, but doesn't really say it anywhere on it, so I don't really care for it. Also, it's pure bogging. Does it say it on the back? No. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not really a fan of a Rolex myself anyway. It's just a vulgar display of wealth, isn't it? No offence to anybody that's into watches and stuff. I'm not into that. There's 1030 floor speakers, that's cool. You can see what I'm into. A ring. A 1030 shock watch. Some Omegas. Imagine a 1030 Amiga. An Apple Macintosh M1030 portrait display computer. Is that a portrait monitor? 2 seconds, I'll get you photos of this. An Apple Macintosh portrait monitor. Look at the state of this. Hold on. Wait till you see this, lads. This is interesting. Does anybody know that existed? It's like a portrait monitor. M1030. That's a nifty wee thing, isn't it? Oh, here. I stole maybe about 100 Apple badges from all the computers in my high school. I think I've got an envelope somewhere with all of the coloured Apple badges. I just ripped them all off, kept them. But that's an amusing monitor, isn't it? Jings. December 1991. Geez, oh. It looks older than this does, and yet this is about 10 years older than it. I just started reading 1984 and the similarities today are uncanny. Aye. George Orwell, who was working in the BBC when he wrote 1984. Interesting, isn't it? I think he was working in BBC News. Anyway, different watches with 1030 on it. Aye, so I'll have a look at 1030 branded stuff. Let me know. I can't see that overhead projector that I saw in a mate's house. Here's a cool watch. Does that say 1030 on the cover? It doesn't. I'm not going to show it to you. A Citizen 4 1030 watch. But I do quite like that Apple monitor. I'm not going to get it. Rachel's watching this like, oh my god, we don't need another CRT monitor, mate. No, we don't. I'm not getting another CRT monitor, don't worry. Don't worry. Kenwood 1030 tape player. That's cool. Anyway. Vintage National Brass Ornate. Look at this, man. I don't want to dox my postcode. Cool, it's not showing the postcode, but look at this. Big till. So this is apparently a model 1030 till. Look at that. Can you imagine anything being made nowadays to that level of ornate decoration? Like any functional object? We've went wrong somewhere, haven't we, as a species? That's some cool shit. I'm looking for the bit on the bottom that says this is apparently model number 1030. Nah, they're not showing you the model number. Deary me. YouTube short live is a shit show. I'm finding that out, Carnivore, aye. 100%. Age verification is also playing right into the hands of crystal fascists who have been buying credit card company shares in order to control them. Also, age verification is being used by hackers, phishing scams. So if you go onto a website and it's like, oh, you need to verify your identity, send us your passport. See if we get used to just sending random porn websites our passport, which you should never do, right? But if we get used to that, what's happening is that all these hackers or bad agents are appearing and being like, oh, I'm a legitimate website, but you can't access it until you verify. Send us your passport. And if we get used to doing that, that's like a massive security problem, isn't it? I'm from a time back on the internet where you would never even mention your first name because privacy is important. Like, it would have been a terrifying concept back at the start of the internet, well, back when I was first using the internet, to even just mention your real name wouldn't be the done thing, ASL and all of that. And now we're expected to just send our full legal documentation to any porno website that we fancy having a chug to. I don't think this is good. I don't think this is very good. Here's a cool bit of equipment. Look at that, man. See any equipment with teak wood on it? Right into it. So this is an R1030 AM FM stereo receiver. It's good, isn't it? Look at that. That's good gear, man. It's good gear. Anyway, don't need one of them either. I don't need one of them either. I don't think anyone is getting it, says Hammy. The oldest domain name registration is symbolics.com. First registered on March 15th, 1985. Jeez, oh. Imagine being alive then. You could just poach all the words. It'd be amazing. The one I was thinking of was stargate.com. Interesting. Does anybody know how to ban somebody on YouTube? I don't know how to do it. It looks like I need to do it. YouTube.com. Let's just figure this out. Oh, maybe I could do it in this. Oh, here. Any animators in? Click their name. I can't over here, but I maybe can over here. Is there any animators in? Or anybody who wants to be. I saw John Atfield in. I don't know if John Atfield, if you've done any animation, but any hand-drawn animation, right? Here is a good deal on Humble Bundle currently. I got it last night, so it's not the most recent version, but there's a thing on Humble Bundle just now that's got Moho animation. Moho animation, so you've got 7 days, and so for £18.24, you can get Moho Pro 12, which usually costs about 400 quid, and you get some like expansion pack stuff for it, right? So Moho, I think, is similar, or if not the very software. I think Moho used to be Anime Studio Pro, and before that it was Moho. But it's in in the same sort of style as like, you know, Rick and Morty stuff. Oh, why am I getting an ad? Why am I getting an ad for JD Sports? So hopefully this will show you the sort of stuff that you can do in Moho. I mean, it's a tool for professional animators, right? It's not something that you can just pick up. You need to already know how to animate and illustrate and stuff. But it's like good animation, good 2D animation. That's not a good example. That's like an atypical use of it. So you can get this software for 20 quid. It's not the most recent version of the software, but you can make full animations and stuff from it, should you want to. This isn't the best use of it that I've seen. Moho animation. So it's on Humble Bundle for the next 7 days. And there's some cool stuff that I've saw that people have done with this. And I want to show you. So I've been meaning to check it out for years. I was first looking at this software literally years ago. At least, 10 years ago. And I thought about pirating it. In fact, I think I did pirate it for a bit. And then, because it's like professional software, and you need to be able to be an illustrator and you need to be an animator as well to really use it, I sort of dabbled in it and like literally just didn't know how to select stuff and thing. I was like, right, I'm out of that. But I bought it last night. Here's like an example of something that somebody's made in Moho. But it's this sort of stuff. So you make an illustration, then you can rig the illustration, and then with that rig, you can then create animations. I'm going to be very careful here because there's lots of horny folk on. Aye, we're getting to the horny stuff. Fuck, I'm so glad that I didn't show you that. Oh, I'm a good streamer, man. My senses. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't show you that. Anyway, so Moho exists. If anybody wants to be an animator, it's on Humble Bundle. You can get it for a tenner. There's somebody just giving me his full address so that I can send him a graphics card. No. Thank you, Pinched Boar. All my graphics go behind my hands. I think this one as well. That's fake. Most of my graphics show up here though, which is real. But thanks very much. I put a wee bit of effort into that. The letters were grabbed very early as backups in case domain names ran out, which is why I excluded them. One person grabbed all 26. That's amazing. I think my chances of getting 1030.com are just gone forever, but I do have 1030.co.uk, which is kinda as good. But 1030.com must be like pure millions, man. So it's not the most recent version of Moho. Barry Dog Bobbin says, I use Moho, but the drawing tools are utter shite. I see. 1030 about to get shouted at by all the design people. What design people? I am the king of the design people. I can talk graphic design until I'm blue in the face. If anybody challenges my design skills, you won't win. But animation skills, I don't really have any. So an illustration as well. Don't really have any of those. I might say so. I said at the start it's not the most recent version of Moho, but it's good enough to build stuff in, and it's 20 quid. You tried the Fable AI showrunner thing yet? No, I don't know what that is. Ultra Wido. Showrunner AI. Oh, is that you make your own TV shows? Ah, looks pish. Pish. On this stream, what I tend to do is cover technological stuff so that we can talk about it from an informed perspective. So even though this looks utter gaff, I've just signed up to their Discord, and let's try it out, right? Let's try it out. So it's on Discord, but I don't quite know how to use it yet. How to make your first scene. Type /scene and then hit enter. Alright. So /scene. Character 1. Who can we have? Boris Johnson. On the computer. So you have to like choose. Can I type in custom stuff on a computer? Character 2 is, this looks pish, man. Tim Cook. And the set is Downing Street office. But I can't have it in a Downing Street office because I think that doesn't match. But let's just try it, right? Dialogued prompt. Hey bro, can I please get a graphics card? No. Hey bro, do you know how to get round this new face identification? As I'm absolutely choking for a wank. And then do a tab to the next bit. So the prop is a laptop, and so I think that's it. I think I can have 11 more things. Then will I just type a thing? Boris struggles to get past the age verification. I don't think that's going to work. Error finding set Downing Street office. Aye, so you need to just use all the stuff. I'll play with that off stream and I'll let you know if I get anywhere, but I don't think I'll be using that. My goodness me. How's it going, folks? Hello, Mary Biscuits. Welcome in. How's it going? Where are we? Don't send your address. Don't put your address on the internet, guy. Nobody's going to send you a graphics card. I assure you. Please stop asking for a graphics card. Thank you. Where are we? I must admit, whenever I see the time 10:30, I do say to myself, Houston's boosting, brilliant. Glad to be in your head, sometimes up to twice a day. Where are we? So an Apple vertical monitor in a yuppie pawn shop in Seattle. Apparently the magnetic shielding was shit and was made for magazine graphic design. That makes a lot of sense. That's wild. License to use the internet coming in 2030. I think in the future, here is exactly what I'm imagining engaging with media will involve. On our phones and laptops, right above the screen is a camera, right? And what I predict is, in order to engage in anything in the future, you will need to authorize your camera watching your face engage with it. And they will get that through under the guise of protecting the children to make sure that children aren't watching stuff that they shouldn't be watching. However, the consequence of it is that highly advanced image recognition AI tools will be able to discern every single micro expression that is on your face when you're engaging in a piece of media. So it knows when you see something that you like, it'll check to see if your eyeballs dilate. It'll check to see when you look away, how long you're looking on a screen, what bit of the screen you're looking at. And en masse, over enough of us, over a long period of time, what will end up happening is that the content that you're watching will dynamically change, like a video game, depending on how you're engaging with it. That's what I predict is going to happen. Like imagine that with ads or with different sort of political stuff or whatever. Anyway. As things are very quiet on the illustration front, I'll definitely give it a go. It's 20 quid. It's not the most up-to-date version of the software, but I was looking into it, John, and the most up-to-date version of software, I think the most recent version of the software is good. The last one is bad, but this is the one of before that even. But people have used this version to make full cartoons and stuff. There is a tutorial on YouTube. If you type Moho Pro, I think this is 12.5. Type that into YouTube first. You'll have a guy telling you all what it's about. If you like the look of that, for the next 7 days on Humble Bundle, it's £18.50. It's advanced software though. It's software for professional animators. So even if you already know how to animate, even if you already know how to illustrate, you're still talking a good period before you'll be proficient into using the software. And for some people that's cool, and for other people that's off-putting. But it's up there with like InDesign or Photoshop or After Effects or something. But if you're an animator or illustrator, this might be exactly what you're after. I wouldn't recommend it to like, oh, get the Wayne, the Moho software, because I like drawing. So it would be high-end stuff. Everyone who was domain name camping in the 80s got bumped because the domain name system was only one guy at UCLA working with the Department of Defense. So if you tried to camp, say, bp.com, they just overruled you. That's mad. That's mad. There is a reflection in the telly. What I'm going to do, right, and this will help you see what's happening. You can get a polarizing filter. Well, it's not really doing much there. So a polarizing filter, so these are polarized lenses, but this isn't a photopolarizing filter, but I'm going to get one for this camera and it will reduce reflections. So see like that reflection here. I don't think it'll be strong enough to do that one, but that reflection here, watch when I rotate these glasses, it should diminish that reflection. You see it? So here versus here, I'm not really showing this off very well. It's losing focus. Focus on my face, Ta. So if we put that over, I know it's making it darker. That's just an aside because these happen to be sunglasses. But you see how that reflection gets removed? But if I orientate it this way, it won't get removed. See it? So what I need to do, look at that disappearing, kinda. I'm not demonstrating that very well. It will remove the screen reflection. So what I need to do is buy a filter. So this is just a UV filter that I'm using for protection for my lens. But if I get a polarizing filter, this needs a clean. If I get a polarizing filter, it'll do the same and it'll reduce the reflections in the background. So I'll get one of them. I think it'll only be about 20 or 30 quid. And I've never had a polarizing filter before. Really useful for taking photos through windows or taking photos underwater or whatever. Like if you're above the water. You didn't see the porno in the reflection, did you? Everyone who was domain name camping in the 80s. Aye. I used to own jameshouston.com. And I ran out of money because I was a teenager. And I just one day didn't have the money to re-up it. And it was cheap. It was like a tenner a month or something. And somebody else just grabbed it. And ever since that, the other James Houston has had it. And it's a wee bit pish, man. I'm rocking a CS6, so I don't have a problem using old versions. Class, man. There's no reason to go beyond CS6 and for certain workflows and stuff in it. Anyway, I reckon you could get 1030.com for about 10 to 15k. Aye, if I had 10 to 15k, I would spend it on other stuff. Hello, Silver77, how you doing? I'm a wee bit behind on chat here. Have you looked at Google AI Studio? Google have got different names for things, so I'm sure I have, but I just don't know. What one is that? I've looked at Notebook LM. So is this Gemini? Do you know, I haven't played about with Gemini. Is this for coding and stuff? I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it at all. So for coding, I use Codex with OpenAI. And it's doing good, man. I've vibe coded a thing for work that I needed, which is kind of cool. Is this an AI thing you're up to? Still haven't attempted any of that. Today I'm just chatting. There was an AI tool that I was just trying for the first time there, but it didn't look very good, man. So I just didn't use it. It was like for creating your own version of Family Guy. Didn't look very good. You know the joke, English conquered half of the world for spices and then decided they don't like them? Now it's like they wrote the Magna Carta so they could ban wanking. Aye, 100%. Bloody UK government. Am I right, everybody? Just people begging on YouTube for me to send them a graphics card? No? Hello, B. Dolan. How you doing, man? Been thinking about you, mate. Been thinking about you recently. I hope you're doing wonderful. Not like that, you know. Oh, well, maybe listen, you know, I can think what I think. Here, don't tell me what not to think. Who are you, the UK government? Hello, B. Dolan. Welcome in. Oh, God, the YouTube chat's a shithole, man. I maybe stop streaming to YouTube. I just don't want these people. Will be sold on face scanning and ID checks by packaging it in with game media features that make use of it, like head tracking for flight sims. I think we, the consumers, won't be sold, but the people who govern us will be sold, and they will try and sell it to us to save the children, pure Helen Lovejoy patter. And then it'll just be used to exploit us. Sony hold a patent on a box that forces you to engage with ads to keep watching TV. Like you have to shout, I'm loving it. Aye, I saw the patent. The guy shouting up going, McDonald's! And then that'll take you to the next, it'll skip the advert. Just horrible Black Mirror nonsense. I don't want any of it, man. I remember the internet used to be brilliant. Anyway. Hey 1030, have you ever tried Affinity Paint? It's like Photoshop alternative. I haven't, Steve. I haven't had a reason to. So my employer pays for my Adobe subscription. So I've got the full Adobe Master Collection and I don't pay for it. It's legal. They pay for it. But if I didn't have that, I would have really scoured all of these Adobe alternatives. But I've not had a reason to do that properly. I wish there was a decent After Effects alternative. There are different things that can do motion graphics or can do compositing or can do this or that or whatever. But After Effects is its own sort of general thing. And it needs some competition, man, because that software is so old. You read my message but not reply, because I don't want to engage with you, YouTube person. I'm not going to send you any free stuff. I'm not going to do it. And if you keep asking for free stuff, you'll get banned as soon as I figure out how to ban you. You would have been banned before, but I simply don't know how to do it, YouTube person. All the very best into asking people for free things, but I don't have things to give you. And even if I do have the things to give you, I'm not going to send it to you. So chase yourself, with respect, chase yourself. What's the thread size in the lens? I've got a drawer of polarizing filters here. Do you know, I don't know. Let's see. This is the stock lens that came with the Canon. Let's see if I can read lens chat. So this is a Canon zoom lens, EFM, 15 to 45 millimeters. It's 1 to 3.5 to 6.3 IS, image stabilization, STM. What does that stand for? Super talented man. And the lens diameter is 49 millimeters. Is that the lens diameter or the thread diameter? It's got a circle with a line going through it. And on here, it just says UV 49 millimeter. So it's a UV thing. But it's the kit lens that came with a Canon M50 Mark II. I fuck that James House in particular, 100%. So I need to, I need to buy some lens filters anyway. So a cool trick of putting a polarizing filter on your light source as well as your camera to really help with reflective materials. Carivore I spotted that as well. I was thinking about building something similar, and that will help when you're doing photogrammetry. If you're taking photos in multiple angles of the one object in order to then synthesize it in 3D, then using a ring light with a polarizing filter and then a polarizing filter that matches it on your lens means that your ring light will illuminate but without the glare and reflection showing up. So it means you get even lighting, and that's dead cool. We have detected inactivity during your cut. Fucking hell. TikTok want me to play puzzles in order to stay live. It was ready to chuck me off there. Goodness me. Whose Wendy's are you taking photos through? Well, big scary dear. A good example is wedding photography, right? So imagine you're a photographer and the bride has just showed up in the car, and everybody's like, oh my God, and it's the first time we see her dress. It's the first time we see the bride's dress. Get a photo of her coming out of the car. Oh no. And so that shot of, say, a wedding photographer's, you've got the shots that you need to get, right? It's just an industry. There's like 10 shots that you need to get. One of the shots is the bride kind of looking out of the car window before she gets out, right? That's what happens. But imagine you're a photographer and, oh, there's the bride. This is the big moment. Can't fuck it up, right? So you go and get the camera, but the window's up. So all you're getting a photo is your big pale face. Nobody wants that. So what do? You use a polarizing filter on your camera that will filter out the reflected light from the window. So you take a photo of the bride's face and not your big stupid glacial dome. That's like one example of a use case for a polarizing filter. Polarizing sunglasses are good. If you don't have a pair of polarizing sunglasses, I got these for $5 off AliExpress, and they do polarize the light, and I look like Linda Hamilton when I'm wearing them. What's interesting is I've got two monitors here, right? I've got this one, and I can see everything perfectly when I'm wearing these glasses. But this monitor is more or less blacked out if I'm wearing these polarizing lenses. Unless I do this, I can see it. And that's weird. It's just a strange thing. It's a strange setup, isn't it? Chameleon says, I used to own pirategames.com back in uni. Amazing. I used to own, is it still up? Pareidolia.com. Pareidolia, if I spelt it right. And it took you to Rupert Sheldrake's web on, hold on, pareidolia.com. Nah, I don't own it anymore. But pareidolia is the human psychological tendency of seeing faces in things, right? And there's this pseudoscience thinker called Rupert Sheldrake who claims that there's like the face. He's not a science-based guy, man. He just makes stuff up. I think it was him that was speaking about the face on Mars and saying it's evidence of a lot of stuff. But it isn't. It's just because we're primed to see faces. Our ancestors who saw faces in the bushes and stuff like that, the ones who were good at seeing faces, ran away because it might have been a predator or something. So that's why we, the descendants of the people who were good at that, see faces in things. Pareidolia, it's an interesting phenomenon. Here is an example of pareidolic images. Where are we? Like that? No, it's no take me to the image. Images. So the ancestors, the people in the past who weren't very good at seeing faces and stuff, didn't run away for the predators, which is why they're not our ancestors. Does that make sense? So this is examples of pareidolia, just faces and stuff. You know what I mean? I actually took advantage of pareidolia when making a music video a long time ago. I need to make some more music videos, man. I need to get back into being creative and expressive. I need to find time or a budget to do that. But so that's pareidolia. And I owned pareidolia.com. And I used it to forward to the Wikipedia page of the guy who claimed that the face on Mars was evidence of supernatural jiggery-pokery. But I stopped paying for it because it was just banter, and I don't have money to have banter anymore. Remember when the internet was just cats? And you could look at a picture of a kitten asking, has canned cheeseburger, and you'd wet your pants? Aye. Do you remember Charlie Bit My Finger and how we were just so starved of any sort of content that we all thought that was bloody brilliant? Anyway. Check that free eye contact. You better have not enjoyed that as free eye contact. That wasn't officially sanctioned. Bowdy says, I'll check my drawers. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, no biggie, man. I appreciate it, but on Amazon, I think I can get one for like 15 quid or something. Yodon Coke says, sorry to be daft, but what good's a UV lens indoors? Not really much, right? But I'm using it to protect my actual lens. So see if I accidentally just smudged this with my finger, it means that the UV filter is smudged. So the reason I've picked it is because it's dead cheap, and it just acts as a way of protecting the lens without altering the image in any way. I've got a UV filter on every lens I own just to protect it. If I accidentally drop the lens, it'll crack the UV filter and not the lens probably. Where are we? The youngsters beat that TikTok filter by putting GIFs of mobile games playing in the corner. Interesting. James, we're planning a Terminator marathon. Aye. They've only made 2 Terminator films though. I refuse to acknowledge anything after Terminator 2. Also, who's this we, and how do I get in on the plan, Stolen? It seems like I find out about stuff very late and last. Do you want to watch Terminator movies with us for Cutburger? Aye. Can I put my glasses on? I want to put my glasses on. Always be pareidolia. That's right, Mike Almond. So I don't know quite what Discord I'm not on, but I find out about things well after everybody else, and it's given me FOMO. I had to talk before the wedding, and there were like 3 moments I had to do and fucked it. The photography stuff, I would never recommend anybody becomes a wedding photographer. Stress, pish. Hello, Mary Biscuits. A friend of mine got taken to court and fined because he got banned from a caravan park, so he bought a related domain and took fake booking for a few years. That's the level of pettiness I can get behind 100%. Does a polarising filter work when you're reading the Daily Mail? Oh ho 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 ho, plodder. That's some satire. They got better resolution shot for the face on Mars and it looks fuck all like a face. Aye. We've now got a close-up of the face on Mars and it isn't a face after all, like everybody'd been saying for ages before. But the people still use the old photo when doing talks. Just bad science, misinformation and grifters, man. The ones who claimed the Bush was talking to them, though, they really fucked us. Aye. For a long time, we've had a lot of bad ideas about a lot of stuff. Well, I'll show you my pareidolia video. Where could I find it? What video was that? Do you know, it's Christmas themed. I'm not going to play a Christmas themed video because it's July and nobody wants to watch. But I made a Christmas... It's the world's first ever speech synthesis Christmas choir, and I made it. I got paid to make a wee video. And so I used pareidolia. So the speech synthesis was lots of old computer equipment, but I wanted to give them kind of a bit of life and give them personality. So I intentionally shot the video using angles or like a close-up of like buttons or whatever. And every single shot was decided by, could this possibly be interpreted to look like a face? So it's not as obvious as some of these, but subtly, it was just a creative decision that meant that I could proceed with it. And it worked pretty well. The edit could have been better, but I quite like the rest of it. Where are we, everybody? Do you also see Jesus on your toast? I see Jesus everywhere, man. Except for the YouTube chat where I see just bad people. Demise of Vine was a sad time. I miss Vine. I should have backed up all my Vines and I didn't at the time. I had good Vines, man. Anyway, brother, please donate me a GTX. No, donating you a graphics card. Thank you, B Dolan. I'm down for Terminator. The first two, anyway. After that, not so much. Although, to be fair, I haven't seen them. It was so spiteful. I think they banned him for being drunk and belligerent, so actually, fair enough. I quite like it, though, as a wee idea. Ultimate Mayonnaise, it is never too late for good news. If you've got any good news, please stick it in chat. It is... Blind Boy has seen Adsy Boy. Rachel, do you want to come through and tell us? Remember I showed you Adsy Boy? Apparently news has came through that Blind Boy has spoke about Adsy Boy. Wonder if he saw it via me? Don't think so. But Blind Boy has been on this chat before. I was listening to the Start Ease podcast last night and I think I fell asleep to it. Once again, everybody, listen to the Blind Boy podcast. It's very good. It's very, very good. He just had an interview with Ash Sarkar that meant that this particular episode, he's got tons of new listeners. So he's sort of geared this episode towards people that might not know the whole vibe of the past. So this would be a good time to start listening if you don't listen to the Blind Boy podcast. It's free, it's very good. Listen to Blind Boy podcast. He's not a mate or anything like that. I don't have anything to gain from recommending it. It's one of my most favourite things that anybody's ever made. I want to have a conversation with him at some point. But he was in the chat very briefly when I was doing that talk show with Pip and Dando. And we've crossed paths a good number of times online. But I think I want to talk to him about if Dutch Renaissance painters used optics, because I think he knows about painting. And basically he was a fine art tutor and I was a graphic design tutor. I think we're both autistic as fuck and we've both got really deep niche special interests and don't really like talking about anything that isn't them. I remember ages ago I set up Limmy being on the Blind Boy podcast, thinking that I'll go to it and Limmy will be like, here, do you want to meet him? One backstage. And I did go to it and Limmy never said that. So I'm like, right mate, that's me outside. All right. after the podcast. All right, do you want to maybe like hang out, go to the pub? No, I'm up the road. I want to play Dead by Daylight. And I'm like, you've left already? Aye. I'm like that. Right, cool, man. Right, I'll just go home then. Aye, nice one. I was told that I was in the running, so that the sound guy Scott was Scott for this community for a podcast after that, and I was told that I was in the running to maybe be a guest for that particular podcast, and I don't know how well I would do there. I don't know if I would do well there. As it happens, they got Darren McGarvey, who did far better than I possibly ever could. I'd be sitting there talking about the PlayStation and stuff. Darren McGarvey's talking about nice, like, socially responsible decisions that people can make, and like it was brilliant. So I don't think I would be a good guest, but on the bucket list, I need to have a conversation with Blind Boy at some point in my life. Anyway, I think he's one of my... I'd go as far as to say a hero, right? He's one of the heroes that thus far hasn't been cancelled in any way. And that group is slowly being diminished. Highly recommend it. Bass and Brace, we're doing the Rust music video. We've got maybe another 6 hours worth of work to do on the Rust music video. Terminator Live, UK Tour 2005, the Glasgow SECC Armadillo. Oh, do you know what I realised that I missed yesterday? Willow, how you doing? 10:30, you'd be a cracking guest. I'd love to hear you and Blind Boy doing the chats about whatever. Aye. Little Willow, thank you very, very much. Also, I sent you a Discord today to say thanks for gifting me a sub to Mac yesterday, because I only saw that when I went onto Twitch. Willow, your sound, thank you very much for subbing, and thanks for the gift sub as well. I saw that Mick Foley is coming to Glasgow in November, because I saw a YouTube video yesterday, and I'm like, oh my God, he too is in this list of people that I just want to, like, all right, how you doing? Shake your hand. I got to do that with Penn and Teller. Very glad that I did. Taylor then introduced me, funnily enough, to do with the Lens project. Anyway, I've spoken about all of that before. But Mick Foley would be another one. Just want to shake a guy's hand. One will all go for a pint with Mick Foley and Blind Boy, right? And Penn and Taylor. One will all do that. Willow, thank you very, very much. So, what is the Terminator Live experience? So check this out. Ticket info, starting at £40, all the way up to £70. So, for £70, I expect to get sucked off by the T1000. This better be good. Experience the groundbreaking cult classic, The Terminator. So it's the first one. On a vast HD screen, while Brad Fidel's signature synthesizer lead. I abandoned the accent there, I couldn't. Alright, so it's like orchestra? The Terminator with an orchestra? Is that it? For 70 quid? All I really want is... That does look cool, but I'm no spending £42.25 all the way up to £70.60 to go to it. But that would be cool, man. That would be right up my street. But there's a time and a place. Beep, beep, beep. News just in. Blind Boy has shared that an Adzy Boy Instagram reel. That's brilliant. So Blind Boy and I seem to have a lot in common, because sometimes Rachel will be listening to the Blind Boy podcast. Oops. And will come in just like, look, oh my God, have you heard them talking about this? And I'm like, I know, because like 3 weeks ago I happened to be talking about that just one special niche thing. What's this? So it does seem that there are a lot of parallels in our interests. Right, what's going on here? Oh, sexists, oh, racists, oh, fascists. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you very much for sharing that. I need to get one of Rachel's signs behind me. And hey, listen, everybody, did you like that sign there? The no sexist, no racists, no fascist thing? Because I can just really simply promote that by. I thought that button would have worked, but it didn't. So what I need to do is this. If you would like to buy a no sexist, no racist, no fascist poster designed by Rachel Dunn, you can do so by clicking that PayPal link in the chat. Highly recommend that you do that. And did you know that £5 of every single sale goes to Glasgow refugee charity Refuigi? I don't make a penny off it. It's Rachel's project. I just think it's a really cool thing to get behind. Only interesting people have got tit on their walls. B. Dolan in the YouTube chat says, live reacts to Terminator 8, please. Need custom stream artwork. Will you buy me Schedule 1? No, but I've got a graphics card that you can have if you want. Can we do a how to ban on YouTube research stream, please? I'm not moderating my YouTube chat. Whatever happens on YouTube happens. I went as far as I've typed in youtube.com. I don't even know where I'm streaming now for here. Did I go to Creator YouTube Studio? I don't know how to do it. I should really know how to do it just in case something happens. Not a clue. Not a clue. There's a button to go live, even though I'm already live. Don't know how to do this. So, behind this, I can see that I'm live. So if I could click on this or this one, I would then be able to go in and see the live. But I've got to a page where I can only click on this or this. And if I click this or this, that is creating a new live or something. Can't be arsed learning it. Can't be arsed learning it. Anyway. It's very good for going to sleep. It's just one voice talking very gently. Blind Boy Podcast, one of my most favourite things ever. Please make the bot choir sing this. Oh, right, that's why you've brought it up. I've got you. Peacock says Vermeer used optics. Aye. Yep. That's the project that I've been working on. Tim Jennison and all of that. Tim Jennison sent me a mirror on a stick. Where are we? I like a PlayStation. Do you like a PlayStation? I like a PlayStation. You'd be right up Blind Boy Street. I found his podcast about repetitive later. I was there from day one, but I've just found him a bit not for me lately. He's still for me. I like him. Anyway. Thank you, Willow. Your sound. Is this a new Willy Wonka experience? Aye, the new Linda Hamilton experience. The orchestra is a lot of band to pay. I know. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to it. And I'm not saying it's not fairly priced. I'm just saying I don't have 70 quid. Because it isn't 70 quid. It's 140 quid. Because you're not going alone. You're taking Rachel. So it's not 70 quid, it's 140 quid. Not for me. I don't even get to meet Mick Foley or anything like that. Terminator 2 is far superior than Terminator 1. Has there ever been a scenario like that where the sequel is actually better than the original? Maybe in video games and stuff, sure. But in cinema, it's rare, isn't it? A lot of people might say Star Wars, because a lot of people think Empire Strikes Back is better than A New Hope. And to that I would say you're wrong, it isn't. It just isn't. A New Hope's better. And if you disagree with me, you're just wrong, right? And I'll fight you. But anything else where the sequel is better than the original? But Terminator 2, one of the best films, man. We were half watching it on YouTube, on B. Dolan's stream. And Rachel was getting into it as well. We're both looking at each other. Terminator 2 is fucking brilliant, isn't it? It just is brilliant. I've got quite a nice legally purchased copy of Terminator 2. which is a 35mm scan, and it's all like got film grain and crap on it. None of the special edition effects have been added as well. So you can see the stuntman with like the big rubber head and all of that on. And when the cop with the cup, when that happens, the special effect Rick Baker head as well just looks all plastic and minging. Doesn't it look good, but in a fun way? And I noticed in the B. Dolan stream that was like the better version of it, and it looked, wouldn't have registered anything wrong with it on that version. I think it was just colour grading or whatever they've done to make it a wee bit better. But I've got a nice 35mm print that I legally purchased a couple of years ago, and it's cool. Where are we? True Lies? Is True Lies playing as well? Did he do that as well? I went to Star Wars with a live orchestra and was surprised how good it made it. I was in 6th year high school, right? And in 6th year high school, I realised early on, I want to apply to art school. And so I didn't hand in any other higher stuff in 6th year art school. I only worked on my portfolio. And I pretended to all the other courses that I was on. Oh, I fully intend to do this course. I didn't, right? So I just worked on my portfolio. And I think the teachers were just glad that I stayed on. That they were just like, do whatever you want, don't care anymore, cool. So I would just hang out in art. And then so one day I went for a joint. And where you would go for joints was next to music. Just a faraway wing of my school. So found a wee secluded bit. Sparked my zoot and took a couple of drags off it, and it was a brilliant summer's day, right? So all the music windows were open, sash windows. So I sparked a J, took a drag of it, took another drag, just beginning to feel some nice sunlight on my face and everything. And then all of a sudden, all the windows open was because the full school orchestra was on the other side of the room that I was standing at, and they played the Star Wars theme fucking amazingly, man. And I was like on my own, loving life. It was wonderful. It was maybe one of the best just private moments that I've had with just me. Really, really enjoyed it. So this can't be better than that. It can't be better than that. Really enjoyed myself. Is that a point of contention between you that Rachel owns her fullname.com? No, I completely support Rachel owning her fullname.com because her name isn't the same as my name. And if she had the same name as my name, I would have elbowed my way into owning that domain by now. Anyway. Mad Max, Aliens, Mad Max 2, Aliens, Godfather 2, Toy Story 2, Crocodile Dundee 2. Remember Crocodile Dundee? Aliens, but that's subjective. Mad Max 2. Alien and Aliens were like almost just different genres as well, weren't they? I need to know more about the Alien franchise than what I do. Because it looks right up my street. They've got some amazing CRT tellies in it, but I never developed a fandom with it like I did for lots of other stuff. And any time I've revisited it in adulthood, I've ended up falling asleep. I went to see Star Wars live thing at the SACC and I met Chewbacca. Fucking cool, man. Lethal Weapon 2, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Evil Dead 2, Hot Shots Part 2. Pip says, I preferred Goodfellas to Goodfella. That's some solid patter, mate. That's some solid patter. Evil Dead 2, Godfather Part 2, The Godfathers, Road Warrior. Okay, so there is a lot then. There is a lot of sequels that are better. Aye, good work, everybody. Very good work. Little joke there about how alien films were tight. I got it, but thanks. That was good. That was good patter. Here, do you want more good patter? Get yourself to Scroobius Pip's stream on Friday. He's returning to streaming, everybody. It's just going to be sensational, mate. It's going to have other good patter like that. I need to watch the first Joker film. That is an example where nobody liked the sequel at all. I still haven't watched the first one. Not the first Aye, the one with the most new one, Joker. You know what I'm on about. DMT lasers. We need to do DMT lasers, B. Dolan. I've been looking into synthesizing DMT recently again in Minecraft. And I've got lasers. Anyway, there were only 2 Alien films. Is 3 a bit pish? I don't think I've saw 3. First 2 Alien franchise films are great, others are fairly forgettable. I suppose like Terminator as well. Or Jurassic Park. Well, there you go. Has there been a good 3? Toy Story 3 is pretty good. I don't think they needed to make it, but it was pretty good. Has there been another good 3? Return of the Jedi is kinda good. Kinda. Not as good as the others. It was kinda good. It was just a big advert for Ewok dolls though, wasn't it? Really. And I say that as a Star Wars fan myself. Anyway. Only One Reap says, how's Scroobius Pip's film going? There've been updates. So basically there was a scenario where it had to be postponed. So we were a couple of days away from the shoot day and disaster happened. And the responsible thing to do is to postpone it. So it's still getting made, but just isn't shot when it was getting shot. But Pip's done a massive update. I was going to get him on here and we could do a massive update as well and talk about how to go forward. But it's something that me and Pip need to have a meeting as well about that in private, about how various things. So there is movement happening in the background, but I've been out it a bit. I want to be back in it. Indiana Jones, Rocky 3, Mission Impossible 3, Toy Story 3. And I've got lasers. I do have lasers, man. I've got a mate who's got actual lasers, but you wouldn't want to look into them, but they're like... The lasers I've got will be good enough to do the things that we intend to do. Goodfella 3. Nightmare on Elm Street, again, that's a franchise that I've never really got into. Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 3 is really good. Guess what I found? The Die Hard game on the original PlayStation. I've legally found a copy of that. Die Hard Trilogy. And so I was maybe going to play that live on stream at some point. That would be cool. Tokyo Drift, I've not seen any of them. I've basically not watched many films that have been released after like 2002. I haven't seen... The last superhero film I saw was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I stopped watching films at a point, which maybe isn't that good. Except for like the really big ones. But even then, still haven't seen like Oppenheimer, things like that. So I would quite like to take time and get back to it. Where are we? Let's not talk about The Hobbit. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings films. Tried numerous times, fell asleep, just not into it. Are you mates with Spyro Pyro? Don't know who that is, Yoda. Anyway, where are we? Army of Darkness. I saw that, but I wasn't sober. What a game, 3 different genres in the one game. Die Hard Trilogy was brilliant. Have you played with Pywall? What's Pywall? Raspberry Pi Firewall? No, Raspberry Pi screen software. I haven't. Can you combine multiple screens into one multi-screen using multiple Raspberry Pis? Is that what that's for? Aye. I haven't. Looks cool. Might be useful for this setup. Could be interesting. Currently this setup is fed via OBS, which means I can get all the alerts and stuff on it. But I'll look into that Pywall. Looks up my street for different installations. Where are we? I just watched Alien 3. The first half is excellent. And Charles Dance. How good's Charles Dance, man? Is brilliant in it. But it does fall apart a bit and the CGI is silly. Cool, man. Was 2002 a sequel? No, but they did 2020, wasn't it? What was the sequel to 2001? 2010, the year we made contact. So they did that. And that was pish. Really pish. It didn't have... Helen Mirren's in it? I don't remember that. It didn't have any Kubrick involvement at all. And it was absolutely pish. Also, they were using CRT tellies, which made it look older than 2001, because 2001 was all flat screens. They had iPads basically in 2001. It was humming honking film. Rob Schneider. No, Roy Schneider. I thought Rob Schneider was in it for a sec. John Lithgow as well. Douglas Rain. Here, I might need to revisit 2010. See if it's any good. But it's no 2001, I tell you that. Deary me. Spyro Pyro's an absolute mad lad that does insane lasers. Cool, man. Dylan says, I tell myself I want to see Oppenheimer, but at the speed I'm rushing to do it, I might not. It's time to admit it. There's lots of stuff that are just on my list. I've got a big library of videos that I have obtained. And it's all stuff that I just never want to watch, but I know that I should watch. Shawshank Redemption. Saw that once ages ago and lost interest because I was a bit preoccupied. I was a teenager and I was watching it with a special friend. So ended up getting off with each other to the Shawshank Redemption, right? Which isn't... Don't tell people about that, right? Anyway, and I've not watched it since. Because when are you in the mood to watch that? When are you in... Oh, I'm having a great day. Do you know what I'm going to do? Watch a film about genocide. So I've got lots of things like that that I know are just excellent pieces of media, excellent pieces of art, but I'm just never going to... Gaspar Noé films, supposed to be brilliant. I've heard they're really good. I'm not going to fucking watch them, man, though. I've got a panic disorder. You know what I mean? I'm sure that if I watch them, it'll be good and I'll really enjoy it and I will grow as a person. So I've obtained them. I fully intend to... Oppenheimer, film about a guy that makes a big bomb that changed the world. It's a bit heavy though, isn't it? It's a bit heavy. Have you got Cars 2? You know what I mean? Shawshank Redemption, quite right. Rolling Sausage, thanks. Good work. American Psycho 2 was hilariously bad and fun to watch, even if it had nothing to do with the original creators. Some of this stuff might be fun. Like 2010 would be fun to watch if you had the lads in and if everybody was a wee bit half cut and you could rip the piss out it. Do you know what might be interesting to do? Film Discord streams. I don't think I could get away with it on Twitch, but maybe we sit and watch a film together on Discord at some point. It is, though, thanks to the Patriot Act, a federal crime that might get me extradited and prosecuted in America. It's literally in the Patriot Act that they brought through after 9/11. So, want to watch, innit? That's one to watch. Oppenheimer is up there with Parasite and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, they're two films that I've heard are amazing. Haven't seen them. Award-winning films I've downloaded and will never watch. I've got a big library of all of that. Killers of the Flower Moons on mine is just so long, I don't have that much time. I'm the sort of person that will literally watch a 6-hour YouTube essay on something that I'm not even that bothered with, but won't watch a 3-hour film that has been critically acclaimed. Even a 90-minute film that's been critically acclaimed. And that's bad because I need to, but I'm usually chasing my tail when it comes to tasks. I've always got something that I should be doing. Always. I've always got a deadline that is just there, or a thing that... Like yesterday I had to pay £400 on tax. Yesterday was the last day to do it, and I got it in at 11:30 at night. There's always something that I need to be doing. Schindler's List, not Shawshank Redemption. Schindler's List. I got off with somebody to Schindler's List. Shawshank Redemption is a better film to get off with somebody to because you don't feel as much guilt. I got off and did things. Schindler's List, that's exactly what I'm thinking of right here. Sorry, I misspoke there because they both begin with S. So that's like a horrible thing that we did. But anyway. Be interesting to see if you're still feeling the erotic undertones in Shawshank Redemption. Well, there certainly aren't any erotic undertones in Schindler's List. Jings. I've not seen Cars 2 as well. I just picked that out, where I pulled out my bum. Have you seen Bora? I have a wee bit. Federal crime. It is a federal crime, even if you're in the UK. Sorry that I've not seen films, Pip. Remember when you could host movie watch-alongs on Twitch using Prime Video? We did that to watch Shining. Do you remember we watched The Shining? Oppenheimer's dull as fuck. Well, I still need to see it, even just for the cinematography. It looks just outstanding, man. They're big, fast lenses. Also, Cillian Murphy's got some head on him, man. I could watch that face doing anything. Great actor. There's streamers that do show movies that are already free on YouTube and Tubi. They turn off clips and ads and VODs. That is Africakes. Will commit federal offences all the time. He does his movie nights on Twitch. I'll just err on the side of caution, though. I'm still trying to get up the courage to watch Zone of Interest. Again, haven't seen it, and I've heard things. Anyway. Schindler's List. Schindler's List it was, not Shawshank Redemption. It's bad. That's a bad thing. Haven't revisited it. I somehow started collecting 4K steelbooks. I don't have a 4K telly or disc player. Well, that's the thing, right? I don't have a 4K disc player, but what was it I bought? Ghost Stories, Andy Nyman, right? It's got Paul Whitehouse in it. I have watched it, but I also wanted to see things that I watch or music that I listen to. I will find ways of watching and listening to them to see if it's good. And if something is good, I will then pay money to the people that made it. Because the music I listen to isn't on the radio. You know what I mean? This is the old speech I had. Now you can listen to anything you want on the internet, it's fine. But you know what I mean? So the last Blu-ray that I bought was Ghost Stories, with no intention of ever taking it out its case, because I don't own a 4K Blu-ray player or a 4K telly or anything like that. Is it in 2K maybe? Don't know, don't care. So I'll do that sort of stuff. But I've already seen it. I've already watched it. The stage show was very good, man. Very good. My secret for not starting something like that is you split it up. Don't sit down intending to watch it all. Watch 30 minutes and see if you want to watch the next episode. Maybe you end up binging all the pieces at once or not. 100%. Getting off to someone to Schindler's List is literally a Seinfeld episode plot. Really, David Tor? I mean, it wasn't Schindler's List that prompted us to do things. It was the fact that we're teenagers and we're both, do you want to watch a film in your ma's house? Aye. Do you want to watch it like privately in that room? Aye. You know what I mean? Young love. It's a different sort of vibe. The film wasn't really part of it. The film was incidental. Please don't judge me, right? I can't afford to be cancelled here. Anyway. Red dress. Schindler's Jizz. That's something, rolling sausage. Thank you, excellent work once again. Spogger says bloody hell. Schindler's Jizz. My God. There was a couple of great scenes, but I had more fun watching the 40-minute documentary on him. I had more fun doing what I was doing, if I'm going to be honest. Zafar streamed football once and got shut down. I remember Cool Jinzo, the first ever Twitch stream I saw of Cool Jinzo's. He was just on Netflix. He's like, right lads, what are we watching? Just on Netflix streaming. And I'm like, mate, you can't do this. They will abduct you and they'll shoot you in some international fucking cell somewhere. You can't do that. He's like, right. You can't do that. So I sort of saved his skin there. I wish Jinzo would come back and start streaming again. I really miss his streams. Anybody in for that Najo guy? Probably not. But that's a story for a different time. Anyway. Teenage hormones remain undefeated. No regrets and stuff. Dolan says, I put my moderator sword down and walked away for a while. What did I miss? You don't want to know, mate. It's fine. You don't want to know. Up on a quick Google, Seinfeld Season 5, Episode 18, the Raincoats, Jerry and his girlfriend being caught making out at a theatrical showing of Schindler's List. Jesus Christ. Quite often, Rachel will tell me that I'm living in a sitcom. Things happen to me, right? But I didn't know that was actually... Do you know, I want to know the date. So did my version of this happen before the Seinfeld? So when was Seinfeld season 5, episode 18? I can figure out roughly when it happened. I would have been in 5th year, maybe 4th year high school. So I can narrow it down to 2 dates. I can't, off the top of my head, figure out. Because I want to know, did it happen to me before it happened to Jerry Seinfeld? 1994? Nah, it definitely happened to Seinfeld. Definitely was a Seinfeld thing before it was me. Fair enough. But aye, that happened. Swear to God. Swear to God. Says the man who streamed the JFK assassination. That was an accident, right? That was an accident. That was one of you that did that. But anyway. So I don't really have it in me to watch Schindler's List again. I've just no got back round to it. Avgas, how you doing? Avgas says, hello, been lurking a while at an appointment. No real good news except I may be going back to school in the fall. Early days, but I'm thinking about it. Hope things are good in here. Doing good, Avgas, and congratulations, maybe. Or well, maybe not congratulations because you're still deciding it, but all the very best. Oh, by the way, seen Marjorie, the movie, the presenter of Behind the Bastards, is constantly on about. It's mental. I've not seen that. Haven't watched that. Maybe you were just shagging with the episode of Seinfeld on and you're having false memories. No. It was definitely... I remember the girl in the red dress and stuff. The last thing I remember is the person I was with saying, see that girl, remember the red dress? And I'm like, well, I will because it's... Fucking hell, my hair's disappearing. I will remember it because it's a black and white film and that's the only thing. She's like, yep, that's the last I remember of it. I since understand the payoff for that. I've read about it. Harrowing. But didn't see that at the time because my eyes were elsewhere. Hope you're still sponsored by Coke. I'm still sponsored by Coca-Cola. Just steal the Cokes. Anyway. So on that note, I think I might bounce, right? Because it's a bit of a downer thing to admit. I will let you know if we find out anything more about Fred. So all these bloods and biopsies and stuff are getting taken right now to a place in Yorkshire where some experts, it's the best in the country, are analysing all the stuff, right? But in addition to that, there's a local person that's just going to have a look under a microscope. The analysis won't be anywhere as detailed as the results that we're going to get back on Monday. But the local person hasn't got back to us yet. And I would assume that if it's really bad news, they would have got back to us. But they were basically saying it's really not good news. So I'm going to end the stream and I'm just going to hang out with Fred for a bit. He's still in very good spirits and stuff like that. But I can tell this is it's no great. The vet was like trying to tell me this isn't good is what's happening. I missed the Fred news. So basically all his lymph nodes were inflamed. Took him to the vet and the vet's like, so we don't have any official analysis yet. But the vet was being quite honest about it all, without worrying me. Without trying to worry me unnecessarily, put it that way. So he's still full of beans. He's still very much annoying when he wants to be. He's still cool, like you can't really tell. He's a bit more cuddly than usual and stuff like that, but he's still bouncing about. He's still barking at pigeons and doing all the Fred stuff. But basically, it's we'll see what happens on Monday. Also, I need to check the insurance as well because that will really decide the next steps. As far as I'm aware, I'm still fully insured, but I couldn't get a hold of them But in December, I re-upped the pet insurance. So I think that's me covered. I'm pretty sure that's me covered for everything. But I need to have a look at all of that and decide what the next, take things on board and stuff. But the vet was great. The vet was really good. And he was expressing his personality as well throughout it all. The vet ended up having an argument with a delivery person, and Fred took the side of the delivery person and was just like growling at the vet because she started sort of speaking to the guy kind of sharp, and Fred wasn't having the conflict. He was like, and it was quite funny. Sounds like a good vet. Hope you get more info soon. Monday, it looks like. Well, Monday is when the stuff's been analysed. I don't know when they'll get back to me. Maybe Tuesday or something like that. Stick a hovercraft documentary on for him, I will do. It may be an infection. However, if it was an infection, they're saying it's unusual that all his lymph nodes are going. So it'd be different if it was just like the two up here. It might be like a dental infection or something like that. But everything, his full body's like all inflamed or whatever. So she didn't diagnose that it's leukemia, but she kept sort of implying that something like this usually shows itself as that. But she was cool. She's sort of preparing us for different outcomes and stuff. So I'm just going to go and hang out with him, if that's all right. Delivery worker as ally versus vet. Fred likes manly men, right? So this delivery guy came in and Fred's like wagging his tail. See any sort of workie outside, anybody in a high vis, any like plumbers or men in shorts, Fred's like, right, what are we doing? I'm your best pal. Guys with big beards, all that sort of stuff. Fred loves they guys. And so this delivery driver came in, Fred's like, you're my pal, aren't you? And the vet had beef with the dude, and Fred's like, it instantly sided with the guy. It was quite funny. So he's still a handful. So you try to get him in and out of the vet, still very much a handful. Rhinoceros says, the vet told us wee Basil was basically fucked, but a few months of intensive healing and snuggles and he's going to be okay. That's good to know. Hopefully Fred's the same. Well, listen, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm trying to just be realistic about it all, you know what I mean? Steel toe boots get Fred going. They definitely do. Working Doug jeans, 100%. Well, listen, that's me at the bottom of the chat. I'm going to go and hang out with my Doug. And maybe stick on Schindler's List if I'm feeling frisky. We'll see how it's going. Excuse me, did a burp. Who's on? Who's on? Listen, do you know what I've noticed? Usually this time of day, there aren't many people to raid. So see if one of yous or anybody in the wider community has decided they're going to start streaming at like 5-ish. Usually I'll finish about 4:30, 5. If you want to start streaming, man, like there's raids going, I'll gladly support people that I like. Because it's usually just the same people that I'll be raiding. So let's see somebody who I haven't raided for a bit. See Not Bush, they're cool. I haven't raided them for a bit. So we'll go on, copy, and can I figure out how to do it? They're on Be Right Back, so I'll maybe chat to you for a wee bit. Well, I've just raided. There we go. Listen, everybody, please keep it real, take it easy. And all the very best to all these. I'm back on Twitter. Fuck it. I'm back on Twitter. I feel like a scumbag, but I'm on Twitter. And might be for the next couple of weeks. So for Fred updates, stuff like that, you can catch me there. There's also the Discord. And I might be on here later tonight as well. We'll see how it goes. Listen, everybody, my name's James Houston and Houston's Boostin'. But before I go, here's a bloody magic trick. See you later. Love you. Bye. See you later. Bye then. Ta-ta. Catchy.